we had 27 people die from one agency.
Isn't that suspicious?
Not to me. But why is it suspicious to
Because like
you?
you just said, a lot of deaths from one agency. That's
because
that's half the deaths in the whole nation.
It spreads around the area where it happens.
It's mostly elderly, right?
So far.
Isn't that strange that it's mostly elderly? But have you guys heard about Event 201?
No, that we were asking about.
If our news media was real, they'd all have us know about Event 201. Because, I mean, it's just like, what's the odds of this? So, Event 201 was hosted by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation October 18, 2019. You can look it up, it's on their website. They ran a simulation predicting a near coronavirus outbreak that kills 65 million people over the course of 18 months. These are the figures they report on their site, right? And they said the purpose of the simulation was, in case this happens in the near future, we need to be prepared to distribute vaccines and stop such an outbreak. So, what's strange is the day that they did that is the exact same day that military world games began in Wuhan, China. So that's kind of a strange thing, right?
I heard about it.
So, do you have Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to take 30 minutes to watch this, it came out November 7th, 2019, so about 3 weeks after the simulation. It's called The Next Pandemic. It's 30 minutes long. Bill Gates is the main speaker in it. And he says the same type of thing. He predicts that in the near future there's going to be a coronavirus outbreak, and it'll likely come out of China, and it'll likely come out of an open-air market, kind of like Pike's Place, right? So, okay, so these things happen, right? Now, the first case of coronavirus in the world, supposedly outside of China, was documented here in Washington State, in Snohomish County, and then it was confirmed in Seattle, Washington. And the date of that was January 21st. That was supposedly the first case in the world outside of China. So what's interesting about that date, January 21st, well, just one more thing before I tell you what's interesting about that day. The next day, on January 22nd, Netflix put out another documentary called Pandemic, right? And Bill Gates is also in that, talking about the same type of thing. But January 21st, that date's very interesting because when you learn this code Gematria, I've been teaching about this 7 days a week for 7 years, literally. Like, I'm a crazy person just putting this knowledge out there. Because I'm trying to get people to see that what goes on with the media. They use this code every day to give us our headlines. So January 21st, 121. All of these things equal 121 in Gematria. You realize Gematria is like, it's math. It's 1 plus 1 is 2. It's a set system. It's not like I'm just saying this equals this. But all these things equal 121. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, coronavirus outbreak, World Health Organization. Did you guys just hear that Tom Hanks got coronavirus? You know, he did the movie Sleepless in Seattle?
Yeah.
The day that the news came out, March 11th, was 121 days from his upcoming birthday, right? So, anyway, 121. And to go back to the 65 million that die in the simulation, the word pandemic is 65, right? And what's strange is they did that on Melinda Gates' 65th day of her age, the day they ran the simulation. And what's even weird, if you go back and look, Bill and Melinda Gates were married January 1st, 94. That was 65 days after Bill Gates' birthday. So I'm like, what is this all about with all these 65s? Numbers games. Have you ever heard that term, the cabal? Like secret political faction? It comes from Kabbalah, and Kabbalah states that God created the world with letters, numbers, and words. And it's related to Hermeticism, and Hermeticism says everything's vibration, every letter, every number, every color, and if you understand like the way these vibrations work, you can control people. You know they had everybody go out and buy toilet paper? Coronavirus equals toilet paper. It's like, why do they got people freaking out about toilet paper? Like, coronavirus. Corona means crown, right? What county are we in? This is King County. King County, right?
Right, the epicenter of the...
You must be visiting.
Yeah.
Okay. This is King County. Welcome.
Okay, King County.
Okay, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's up on 5th and Mercer, right across the street from the Space Needle, right?
Uh-huh.
Can you think of a more famous needle in the world?
Think about
Bill Gates is all about vaccines. I don't know if you know this about him, but he did a TED Talk in 2010. If you go back and watch Bill Gates' TED Talk from 2010, it'll weird you out. He's talking about how we need to reduce the population. His goal is to reduce the population by 15%, and he's going to do it with vaccines. So it's like, what does that mean?
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. Perhaps 10 or 15%.
What does that even mean? Like, doesn't that sound weird? And this is what he's preaching about at a TED Talk. And vaccines, needles, he's a computer guy, computer viruses, virus.
It's so just much coincidence, huh?
Well, some people think it's all a bunch of coincidence, man.
Too much for that.
Why is it that?
Dearest.
So we can find more of that at
You want to take a picture of this to remember it?
Yes,
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Because
He's like, well, at least
Sí se ve, ¿verdad?
where you from?
México.
There you go.
Supposed to be all dead.
You guys are the best. A woman just left from Mexico City. We were out doing this Friday, and she came by and got real interested. She came back like 10 minutes later with her own sign. She stood out with us all Friday. She came back today, showed up with a sign. Love the Mexican people.
Thank you.
Thank
Stay
you.
warm.
Bro, I have a question. When are we going to be talking about the fact that China used bioweapons on their people to deter that revolution? Yeah, but this was them getting sloppy with bioweapons for their own people. It was about to pop off. They were about to flip their shit. There was riots and like work strikes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Everybody fucking forgot.
No, absolutely.
Now they're good little commies. They need the government again.
No, you're right.
But this sloppy. They used a relatively harmless disease, but it kind of spread around the whole fucking world. Sorry, but like, when are we gonna tell them like, hey, fuck you? Why'd you do that?
To me, it's New World Order, though, man.
Of course it is. Of course it is. This is the perfect kind of disease that's kind of scary, but it's kind of like we could have it under a wrap pretty quickly. You know what I mean? Like it's less. You know, you have to pretty much breathe in my mouth to catch it. You're gonna I mean, if you're worried about it now, if you live in Seattle and you're worried about germs now, you're like sleeping. You're a little fucking
A
late.
health worker came and told us the other day that coronavirus can live for 9 days outside the body. I never heard about anything like that before.
I'm straight. I live in fucking Chinatown. I'm not even worried about it, dude. You know, it's like not a problem. Like this is such a filthy city as it is. They put detergent in the alleyways at 2 a.m. But you guys don't know that. Like,
well, I know why. Yeah.
This is a dirty place. Like, so I mean, we're good. Like, I just hope shit doesn't slow down. Like Saturday morning, I mean, was weird. Empty. Friday morning, ample parking downtown. Like,
We were here Friday. Friday was
yeah. So I wanted to say, I think they were just trying to chill everybody out by getting everyone sick, but they fucked up. Now everybody's getting sick.
Well, I think it's about a bigger agenda.
Oh, I know. With it.
It could always be, I believe it's both. I'm not going to say
Of course,
it's
but nobody's saying that they use bioweapons on their people.
Sure.
It's true though. It started.
Sure. I mean, appreciate it. Absolutely.
Cradle to grave, I say we're lying too.
It could entirely be a hoax. I'm really just trying to show people how whatever it is, hoax or not, it's an agenda.
That's what I'm sure. That's what I'm about 99% sure.
Yeah.
I've been telling people like trying to drop a little hint like, you know, this is gonna fucking affect us harder than 9/11.
Well, look what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Talking about martial law.
9/11 was in 2001, right?
Yeah.
Here we are in 2020, which is 19 years later.
Yeah.
We teach about Gematria. Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words. Comes from
Okay.
Kabbalah. Kabbalah states God created the world with letters, numbers, and words. Masonry, Freemasonry, is
Yeah,
based
yeah.
in Kabbalah.
Okay.
So the word chaos equals 19. So does Seattle. Seattle happens to equal 19.
Okay.
And the Masonic motto is order out of chaos.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Big idea to them. Wuhan coronavirus equals order out of chaos. Same thing.
In this gematria.
Exactly, in this.
Awesome.
So 19 years later, right? Now, do you know about the moon in 19?
No.
So something very interesting about the moon in 19. So, you know, like a Jewish calendar, every 19 years their holidays will fall on the exact same day of the calendar year because all of their holidays are synced up with the moon, and every 19 years the moon does a perfect reset.
Okay.
So the moon's like in the same place on January 1st that it was 19 years earlier.
Awesome.
So there's a pattern with things happening in the world in cycles of 19.
Okay.
So think about 9/11, 2001, 19 years ago, right?
Okay.
Think about it, last time that the economy really, well, they tanked it again when Bush went out.
Yeah.
But the economy went, you know, they created this big epidemic, they stopped travel,
Yeah.
kind of like they're doing this year, so there's already some parallels, right? And we're early in the year, so there could be a whole lot more.
So yeah, you're preaching to the choir. I don't disagree with that, any of that at all. That's interesting though. I didn't know about this, and I'm just new. I just pulled my head out of the sand.
Sure.
So my path of seeking truth has been based on the fact that we haven't been to the moon. That's my belief.
Sure.
My understanding. So it started with.
Here, I'll tell you something about the moon landing that you'll appreciate.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that happened July 20th, 69. Well, that's when the rover touched down, and then the first man set foot on the moon July 21st, the next day, supposedly. But they did that in the time of Cancer, right? The astrological time of Cancer.
Yeah.
Cancer's ruled by the moon, and the astrological symbol for Cancer looks just like the number 69. So they do it in 69 at the time of Cancer, right?
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot more to it when you learn Gematria. I have a whole chapter on it in my book, The Moon Landing by the Numbers. It's funny, I was just in a jury duty the other week, and when they were asking if any of us didn't believe in the moon landing, I was like, they were like, get the fuck out of here. I couldn't believe it, man. I dropped all this stuff on them about the Masons, and they were like, okay, you can leave.
Yeah, so meeting these people is the first time I've been able to share this stuff. And like, literally, you know, there's people that get PTSD, come back from seeing some hard shit, have nobody to talk to. Like, till I met people on the same path.
It is, man. It's isolating.
It's rough, man.
They just want to give you a pill.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that ain't gonna change it.
It's just like in the Matrix, and that guy decides to go back into the Matrix. He misses the state.
Yeah.
Misses that state.
So how was the reception so far?
It's been great, man.
Yeah.
I think we actually had a
With the
real
weather.
impact Friday. We did this Friday outside the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation,
Oh.
and we had the employees come out and tell us that they were buzzing because they didn't know about this event 201 and the word had spread. That same day, Bill Gates announces he's stepping down from Microsoft to focus more on this Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I'm like, man, that happened while we were out there doing it in real time. I was like, man, we're making a difference.
It's difficult because, you know, knowing what I saw, you know, for so long, that's not what you should be worried about. You know, without them stressing out, they're already stressed out.
That's all part of it too that I don't quite understand. There's some type of an energy thing that they want.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I believe
when they use
there's,
these people and they tell them they're
spiritual
dead
forces.
or whatever. Yeah, there's something to that.
Yeah.
You know,
and I'm sure that's
capitalizing
where
on
this
fear.
You know about Skull and Bones 322?
a little bit, barely, just from looking, but
You ever heard that number 322?
No, I just recognize it. I think because I have a visual memory, not like I'm smart, but like I'll recall with some bones, an old 322.
So
in the skull.
that's Yale Skull and Bones, like
Yeah.
George W. Bush and his father, George
Yeah.
H.W. Bush, both members of Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
In the 2004 election, when it came down to Bush and Kerry,
Yeah.
Tim Russert on Meet the Press asked them both about, you know, isn't it strange
Yeah,
you
I
guys are
remember
both
that
members of
interview.
Skull and Bones? He's
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
tell me something about 322, and
No,
then
we'd have to kill you or something.
well,
yeah.
if you go back and look, when Tim Russert died, which wasn't long after that,
Yeah.
they reported that he died at 2:23 in the afternoon. 223, 322 in reverse.
Yeah.
They put that in the news story.
Yeah.
Now, listen, he died at age 58, right? 58 is a special number to these people. When people say they, right?
Yeah.
Who are they?
Yeah.
They equals 58. So does Freemasonry. So does Rosicrucian. So does Secret Society. So does George W. Bush. You know how he became the 43rd president? Yale equals 43, where Skull and Bones is. Florida equals 43. Remember how it came down to Florida, where his brother was the 43rd governor, his daddy was the 43rd vice president?
Yeah.
His dad was the 41st president. Skull and Bones is 41.
Okay, so by figuring this out, then you guys have a better idea what's coming if you look at the patterns from the past.
It's just like how in 2015, I suggested there's a very strong chance that Donald Trump will be the next president.
Yeah.
Because at the first debate, when they were narrowing down the field of all the Republicans, they put up on the screen when Trump first spoke, the first time he spoke on TV running for president,
Yeah.
they put up this stat on the screen that said Donald Trump,
Yeah.
133rd richest man in the nation. And I was like, oh shit, man, because
Yeah.
president equals 133, White House 133, government 133.
Yeah, I just
put
started
him in the
to,
middle.
like I said,
Yeah.
just pulled my head out of the sand recently. But so these people that I'm meeting online that are on the same path pointed out, like, look at all these fucking 33s that just came over the news. For the same
Masonry equals
story.
33, secrecy 33, order 33, federal 33. They always use this number. They locked down 33 schools in Seattle, man.
Bill Gates equals 33.
And he was head of Microsoft for 33 years. CEO. When you go to the Microsoft campus, executive building is number 33.
Okay. So if I start adding that into like my tips and shit, maybe I'll win the lotto.
Well, some people have benefited from knowing Gematria.
Well, how much did you bet this weekend? You made 1,600 this weekend off UFC
Yesterday I
fights?
made 1,600 on the fights. Yeah.
This
It's not like an accident. I've done this so many times. It's just, can I call every game? No. You just pick and choose. You pick and
No, it's
choose.
a numbers thing.
Okay.
It's all numbers.
So like
It's all coded.
yesterday's UFC fight was in Brazil. So he took the Gematria Brazil and he's like, oh look, this fighter's record can become exactly what Brazil equals.
And the other fighter, it was Brasilia or the city or state where it was at, and she lined up with the loss number.
That's awesome.
Every week they do this, man. Every week in
All
those
sports
fights.
is fixed this way, man.
It's a joke. It's all a complete joke.
That's what I've been finding, man. It's all a fucking stage.
So,
it is.
like, look at this. Did you watch the Super Bowl this year?
No.
Good for you, man.
I'm not really.
But do you know?
much of the TV.
Did you know it was 49ers and Chiefs?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Can you think of a great football player who played for those two teams? Joe Montana.
Okay.
Joe
So
Montana equals 54. It was Super Bowl 54, right?
Yeah.
He wore 19 for the Chiefs. This was the 2019 season, right?
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot more to it too, man. But
No, I bet.
He got his 222nd all-time career win
on 2/2/20, and exactly 222 weeks on the nose after the Royals won the World Series. They made a deal about how the 49ers.
So what is it? What's your? Is it a YouTube or what?
Well, I have my website. I got a YouTube. I got a radio show. I got a blog. So
Okay, you got all the links on YouTube. Like when I go to your YouTube
if
channel.
you search Gematria, if you just search this word, you'll find me.
Okay.
I have Gematria Effect News and Gematria Effect Sports. If you subscribe to this channel on YouTube, you will be unsubscribed within 48
they
hours.
shut it down.
Major censorship, and my channel's been deleted 19 times, man, just
Yeah.
since June of 2017. So
They don't want this shit out there, man. They don't
Yep.
want it out there.
Yeah. Well, hey, good job.
nice to meet you, man.
It's nice to meet another truth seeker.
Right on, right on.
Take care of yourself.
Bring it on in here. Right. Yeah, it's good to see you guys out here doing this. It's
Somebody's got to do
pretty fucking hard when you try and do it by yourself.
It's rough. It is. You can't.
Yeah.
Friday we had a big turnout, but I bribed people because I printed out all these hoodies. I ran out of them.
Oh,
People all came out for the hoodie,
Did you have
man.
coffee and donut or something?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a good weekend, man. I think we've had an impact, so.
Cool. Yeah, I'll look you up when I get home and
All right, man. Be safe
see
out
where I
here.
can find you. Yeah, you guys too.
All right, man.
When are you gonna make this?
What's that?
Is this a YouTube video?
Well, him and I never met before today. He came out here, he's video recording. I'm saying, please upload it. He just found me recently, man.
Yeah, that one well, you guys know it's all suspicious.
I'll tell you this real quick. Kobe Bryant equals 41, and when you run it in reverse, 157, dead at age 41 on his 157th day of his age. I wrote my book years ago, talked about those two numbers with Kobe.
Yeah.
Hey, Zach, this is a reporter right here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well.
So he was explaining to me that your belief is that this was orchestrated. Is that the coronavirus
Absolutely.
by orchestrated in what
Did
way?
he tell you about Event
I started
201?
to talk about it.
Yeah, he was saying you knew more about it. So.
Okay, so
I can't stay that long. I'm writing my story, but I
okay,
just want to.
so Event 201, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Johns Hopkins University put it on October 18th, 2019, simulating a coronavirus outbreak that kills 65 million over the course of 18 months.
Okay.
Strangely enough, that took place on Melinda Gates' 65th day of her age. We teach about Gematria. Pandemic equals 65 in Gematria. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. Just use the alphabetic order. Pandemic, E the 16th letter, you add up the letters, 65, right? So anyway, that happens. And then if you have Netflix, you can watch The Next Pandemic, which came out November 7th, 2019. That Bill Gates is the main speaker in that. In that short documentary that came out on Netflix just 3 weeks after Event 201, he predicts that in the near future there'll be a coronavirus outbreak, likely out of China, likely out of an open-air market.
Okay.
Bill Gates does another documentary for Netflix, which comes out January 22nd, one day after, and that one was called Pandemic. That came out the day after the first case of coronavirus is found in the U.S. right here in Seattle, Washington. Bill and Melinda Gates City, right?
Well, it came out, the first death I know was February 29th.
The 60th day of the year.
Oh,
Washington State equals 60. Quarantine 60. That same day the news media put out that Washington was asked, or if you're 60 years or older, they asked people to self-quarantine in Washington the same day. So January 21st was the first case in the U.S., if you want to go back and verify it, and it was right here in Seattle, Washington. In Gematria, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's 121. Coronavirus outbreak is 121. World Health Organization 121. I educate about how news media creates stories by the numbers every single day. I don't think most of you who work for the news agencies even realize, but I know you guys are asked to cover certain things on certain days, like the talking points come down from somewhere.
Well, no, I mean, we celebrate anniversaries. We don't have dates that we celebrate in particular.
But I'm just saying the way news
Celebrate
stories come out. You work for a news agency, correct?
I work for Cairo TV. That's
Cairo 6.
Cairo
Right.
7.
Oh, Cairo 7, sorry. Cairo 7, my apologies. So, we're asking people to think about these things. For example, Corona means crown, right? And here we are in King County, right? Bill Gates, he's a computer guy, computers, viruses. In recent years, he's become Mr. Vaccine. Have you seen his TED Talk from 2010?
Yeah, no, I know he's not the only person who supports vaccines, but I still am not. I mean, I've been covering this. I've been to Kirkland. I've covered it there. We've had 27 people die from one agency.
Isn't that suspicious?
Not to me. But why is it suspicious to
Because like
you?
you just said, a lot of deaths from one agency. That's
because
that's half the deaths in
spreads.
the whole nation.
It spreads around the area where it happens.
It's mostly elderly, right?
So far.
Isn't that strange? That it's mostly elderly?
The boomer.
Why would that be strange?
Well, because I mean,
these are elderly people who are not the boomer generation.
well, it's strange in the sense that I guess what I'm saying is it's not strange that elderly are dying. I'm just saying it's strange that we're freaking out as a nation when elderly are dying from sickness, which happens every single year. That's just a part of the world we live in. I mean, the elderly are the most vulnerable to the flu. And
well, I think what's unusual isn't that they're dying; it's that they're dying. Such a large number are dying because they have 6 to 7 deaths a month at this facility, but not 27 in a month.
Southern people die in a car every day in this nation.
I'm aware of that, but
So we don't freak out over those numbers.
no, and I wonder why we don't, because we should, but we don't because we drive.
Right.
So we say it's that person's fault. It's not something that I've done. So, I mean, we know more people die in almost on a regular basis all the time, and yet when a plane crashes with 300 people on it, we talk about that for a long time. So that is a different conversation. I'm asking you, why do you think? What is it that Bill Gates has done that would cause this to happen? Are you saying that just the idea that he spread, or what has he done that makes this happen?
Sure. So Bill Gates is very much about population control. This is something he's talked about for a long time, that we need to reduce the population. Are you aware of the Georgia Guidestones?
I'm not.
You got to look these up as someone who works in the news. Georgia Guidestones were placed where they are in Georgia, March 22nd, 1980. So they've been there for almost 40 years. Next week will be 40 years. But they're massive stone pillars in Georgia, and they're etched out in 10 different languages, and they're mostly, they say new rules for a new world, but etched out in 10 languages. The first rule on there is to limit the Earth's population to 500 million. And most of the rules on there have to do with the Earth's population and making a better population that respects nature. Another rule on there is unite the world under one language.
But by that reasoning, why wouldn't mostly young people be dying rather than elderly people who are going to be dying anyway?
Well, okay. So think about it from like a standpoint of government. Government, like right now, there's a lot of spending on Social Security, elderly, expensive medical programs. It would make sense from a financial point of view to target these people. They are the most expensive part of, the government healthcare system. So Bill Gates is talking about, the burden of this overpopulated world, how we have to do something about it. If you watch his TED Talk from 2010, the way he says to eliminate 15% of the world's population is through vaccines, which is a suspicious thing. And if you watch this documentary,
he suggested you take vaccines to reduce the population.
His number
because
one
vaccines are keeping people alive.
That's why I don't get it. That's why I don't get it.
When you hear it out of his mouth, you're like, no, there's no
And
way.
he said it multiple times.
Oh, I definitely have to watch
Yeah,
that.
the first time he ever said it was TED Talk 2010, but do research. He said it multiple times over the last decade.
But that's illogical.
I agree.
They give vaccines to save people's lives.
I agree.
Not to kill. I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
All right.
His goal is to reduce population by 15%.
All right.
So
I don't have much more time. I'm trying to see if I have a card. But you guys are going around with your signs, though, aren't you? Or is this the only place you're going to be?
We were Friday. I called your news agency and every other news agency and I asked
We're
them.
busy covering the virus itself, so until that slows down, I doubt we would do anything.
Well, we were at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation all day Friday, and we created a big buzz in that building. We had employees come out and tell us that they hadn't known anything about Event 201,
Quiet,
so
you're
their minds
talking
were
to a
blown.
criminal. Don't make no sense for me to talk to
But the
one
thing
ear out the other.
But the thing was, the employees came out and said, wow, we didn't even know about this Event 201, so we created a big buzz in their building. That was the same day that Bill Gates announced that he was stepping down from his board of Microsoft to focus more on philanthropy in his organization. So that was one of the things.
In these two Netflix films that come right after
People being tested positive. Someone tested positive here. They found out about it yesterday. But I'm glad to know, and that way I can at least.
Well, thank you for listening to us. I appreciate it. And what's your name again?
Deborah Horn.
Deborah Korn, Cairo 7. Appreciate it, Deborah.
It's always good to hear.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You have a good day.